Hello, people of the world. This is Jason is Lost here in Japan. Just a disclaimer, this video about the wonderful JR Pass does not take into consideration the price increase that is due in October later this year. Right now, the pass is an incredible deal, so if you're on your way to Japan soon, perhaps you're on your way to Japan as we speak, do enjoy the video and consider whether the pass is worth ordering beforehand or once you get here. However, if you're traveling to Japan later in the year, do take note of all the benefits, but stay tuned for an update video with the price increase details once we know more. Anyway, on with the show. Hello, people of the world. This is Jason is Lost, Japanese culture, adventure, and of course, travel information, tips, recommendations to make sure your Japan adventures are as exciting, as amazing as my own. So here is your 10-point guide to the one must-have item if you're traveling Japan, the JR Pass, complete with my own tips and recommendations. So let's talk about the JR Pass, the Japan Rail Pass. This is an invaluable, heavily discounted rail pass, allowing you unlimited use of much of Japan's rail network over different durations of time, 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, and you may indeed want to use multiple passes like I did the first time I came to Japan. Pretty much jumped on and off trains for 6 weeks. The pass itself is actually exclusive to foreign visitors on a tourist visa. Myself as a resident, I don't get the benefits, but my mother, who is coming to Japan for 3 weeks, we're going to be travelling around together, she gets to use the pass, which is great. Do check out the other videos on my channel, you'll get to see our travel adventures. But just to demonstrate the value of the pass, I recently travelled from my home in Koriyama, Fukushima, down via Tokyo over to Osaka. 4 days later, got the train back, so I returned, and that return trip cost about 39,960 yen. That is 10,000 yen more than the 7-day JR Pass. So it definitely pays for itself very quickly if you're valid for the pass and doing some long journeys. It's something I highly recommend in almost every situation, but if you're just staying in one city, if you're not traveling too far away, the pass isn't going to be for you. So today I'm going to introduce the pass, we're going to look at what's included, what the costs are, and see who the pass is for and who it's not for. If you've been planning a trip to Japan, you've surely considered buying this pass. I'm actually partnered with one of the affiliates, one of the official providers of the JR Pass, so do check out my referral link below. I'll get a kickback. There's no additional charge to yourself, but perhaps you're already in Japan, you're traveling around and your plans have changed, you're thinking, oh, that JR Pass, that actually looks quite inviting. Never fear. Here is my first tip of the video. You can actually purchase it and collect it after you've arrived in Japan. Most people do buy a voucher that they get sent, then they bring that voucher to Japan, they just exchange it after they've landed at one of the major stations, but you can simply order it online and collect it at one of the JR offices, the ticket offices. There is a slight increase of the price because it's done locally, but it's still nothing compared to the actual value of the pass. So what is the JR Pass? Unlimited travel across JR's network of numerous train lines that cover Japan. You can essentially jump on and off trains as you wish, or alternatively, book tickets for reserved seats in advance with no extra cost, but there are a couple of exceptions. Particularly how while you can ride Japan's infamous Shinkansen bullet trains, you cannot ride the fastest services. That's the Nozomi, the Mizuho, but you will be able to ride those same routes, those same journeys on the slightly slower services. So this JR Pass is of course exclusive to the JR lines. It's not valid for any of the non-JR independent lines that are all over Japan. So my next point for you, do make sure that you're planning ahead, looking at all your journeys, compare the total price, the total cost of all your journeys to the JR Pass. Here you'll be able to see what journeys are going to incur extra costs, what JR journeys need additional fees and surcharges. For example, if you're traveling from Tokyo to Fuji's Kawaguchiko, there is actually an additional surcharge because the last little bit of that journey, the train uses an independent line, but there's lots of signage on that, there's lots of information online on the official page, so do check that out. There is actually a huge number of non-JR lines that you might end up using in your travels. Take Tokyo, for example, a wonderful, incredible JR network there with all sorts of really convenient, really really necessary lines that you'll use all the time. The Yamanote line, the green one, that loop that goes around Tokyo, it's excellent. But you might go your entire trip without using the underground subway of Tokyo. That's completely independent, totally separate from the JR Pass, not valid on the JR Pass, but that's a huge subway network. And on top of that, there's a load of independent travel rail lines that do their own thing all over Tokyo, not covered in the pass either. I found this affects your journeys a lot more in the Kansai area. I noticed when you're traveling in between Osaka and Kyoto and Nara, you'll find just as many non-JR trains as JR trains, so do be wary of that. This JR Pass actually allows you some travel on JR buses, but not all of them. You can't ride on highways, expressways, night buses. You used to be able to, but you can't now. When I first came to Japan, it was about 2008. My very last night, I was in Tokyo. I had a flight in Osaka the next morning and was stranded. And my only choice, luckily, there was a night bus that went all the way from Tokyo to Osaka through the night. Managed to just about catch my train, but those night buses, they were on the JR Pass, but they're not anymore. Those services are there. There's all sorts of midnight trains, night buses and stuff like that, but they're not included in the pass. There's a few little bonuses as well. There'll always be a route that will take you from your airport into the main city. Narita Airport, Haneda Airport, there's a route that will take you into Tokyo City Centre. Kansai Airport, that will take you into Osaka. In Hiroshima as well, there's the Miyajima Ferry. There's a south port in Hiroshima. If you're there, there's a 10-minute ferry that will take you over to the Miyajima Island. None of these costs are that expensive, but it is one less thing to worry about. But it's up to you if you want to activate your pass and use them there. So, who is the JR Pass for? International travellers on a temporary tourist visa. I may indeed be a strange man in a strange land, but I do not qualify for the pass as a resident. But I will be going over later on in the video a couple of the alternatives to the JR Pass, a couple that are actually available, valid for international residents of Japan. So, the JR Pass itself, 14 days, 7 days, 21 days, exclusive to foreign residents on a temporary visa. So, how much is the pass and how long does it last? Well, you can actually purchase the JR Pass in 3 different durations of consecutive days: 7 days, 14 days, 21 days. These are standard adult tickets, and you can actually purchase a regular pass or a green pass. Green is the term for first class, a bit more luxury. There's an increased fee, and with that fee there is a visible increase in comfort, increase in the services available to you if you wish to purchase that. So, the cost of the pass, and we've got the regular 7-day pass, 29,650 yen, or the green car pass, 39,650 yen, an extra 10,000 yen. The standard 14 days, 47,250. The green car being 64,120 yen. You've also got the 21-day pass, and that is 60,450 yen. The green car pass being 83,390 yen. Of course, these are approximate. They could very well change. It all sounds like a lot, but do make sure you then convert that into your home currency. The yen is pretty poor in the exchange rate right now, so it definitely makes a difference when you look at your own currency for the cost. And you may also be buying children's passes. These are for ages 6 to 11, and they cost exactly half the price of the initial costs that I mentioned for the standard passes. And children 0 to 5, well, you don't need to buy them a pass. Now, it is implied that you're carrying them, so if there aren't any spare seats around you, then you're going to have them on your lap. But you can preemptively pre-book a seat reservation for an additional fee. And here's my next major point for you. You don't need to activate your pass on the day that you arrive in Japan. If you've ordered in advance, you would have been sent a voucher. You take that voucher with you to Japan, and then at one of the official designated JR exchange offices for travellers, you can exchange your voucher for your JR pass, but it's there that you designate what day that pass starts. Either that day or any day within the next 30 days. And my recommendation, yes, you can use your pass on your trip from the airport into your city, to your first destination, but typically you might be there for a few days, you might not be travelling yet. Designate your day to start on your big first travel day. Wait until your big first travel day to activate that pass and then use it. There's usually some sort of travel deal from the airport to the city anyway. For example, Haneda, you could jump on the monorail and get off at any station on the Yamanote line, the green one that circles around Tokyo, for 500 yen. So really affordable, really cheap. Don't feel that you need your JR pass to cover your initial travel. And here's my next major point for you. Expect to wait a long time when you're exchanging your pass, because everyone is in the same boat as you are. They all want their JR pass, especially getting off the plane, the stations in the airport, the major stations close to the airport. Everyone's going to be lining up these offices, these JR desks. They get packed with people all waiting for their JR pass, and these special desks, they're nominated as well. They're particular ones. They don't always have the largest opening hours as well, so you might get stuck with them closing early. Honestly, the best recommendation is to look for, you can look on the JR website, look for alternative desks, offices that are going to be less busy, further away from the airport, and you'll have a bit more luck there with a lot less wait time, a lot less queues. And on the subject of seat reservations, you can of course just jump on a train and hope for a seat in the non-reserved section, but a seat reservation is definitely highly recommended. There is no additional fee. You just go up to one of the JR ticket machines, you scan your pass and type in your passport number, and you're able to book your tickets in advance. My recommendation, if you're traveling between Tokyo and Osaka on the Shinkansen, you've got a pretty good chance of seeing Mount Fuji from the window seat, depending on the weather, but on the Tokyo to Osaka journey, you want to be on the right hand side, you're facing north, and the window seat there. If you're travelling from Osaka to Tokyo, it's the left hand side facing north. These seats, these window seats, get booked out very, very quickly, so do try to book in advance as best as you can. And on the subject of seat reservations, you may very well need to book one regarding the size of your luggage. There are some restrictions on the size of your luggage, particularly anything oversized. Now, we've got some overhead shelves that will be for your smaller stuff, but if you've got anything they might class as oversized, you might very well need to book a oversized luggage seat. And that will be a seat, but it will also give you use of the oversized luggage area. So you want to check the measurements of your luggage, height, depth, width, totaling anything over 160 centimeters to 250. That's going to be oversized. And yes, you can squeeze stuff in front of your knees, but especially on those longer journeys, you're going to have a bit of a struggle. You're going to be uncomfortable. By the way, anything over 250 centimeters is considered, it's not allowed. You're not allowed to bring that on the train. The website also states there is a surcharge of 1,000 yen if you are in need of one of those spaces for oversized luggage, but you're not using one. So that's obviously at the staff's discretion. You may very well end up getting charged there. But booking the seats in the first place is free, so you may very well save yourself some hassle if you just book in advance. So let's talk about the value of the pass. And as I mentioned, this pass pays for itself very, very quickly. As I mentioned, I travelled from my home from Fukushima via Tokyo to Osaka, and then came back, and that return journey, 39,000 yen, over 39,000 yen, which is over the green car 7-day pass on the JR pass. And yes, that's insane, and I'm still affected by it. So the pass is an incredible deal, but will your trip justify buying it in the first place? If you're just staying in Tokyo or Osaka and not travelling too far afield, then the pass will be a waste, and it's really not necessary. You'll be absolutely fine just getting a Suica card, putting some cash on that, and jumping on and off the local trains. But you really should be checking how much those fees, those travel costs are actually going to be. Ultimately, of course, your best plan of action is to plan the entirety of your journey ahead of time and then compare that to the cost of the JR pass. And here's a few recommended resources for you to do that. Google Maps is of course excellent. It will give you accurate times and accurate routes of going from A to B, but the results are usually skewed in favour of the fastest route, namely the Nozomi and the Mizuho, routes that you cannot use on the JR pass. So you'll also have to use an alternative. So you're going to look out for Hyperdia. Hyperdia is an excellent resource. It's got accurate prices for all of the available routes, and even has a filter where you can filter just for the JR pass, and it will show you routes and services available to you as a JR pass user. Unfortunately, Hyperdia doesn't have an accurate live timetable. So you're going to have to use Equinet. Equinet is my least favorite website. I could probably do a whole video on how this website just torments me. It's not a great experience, but this is where Japan buys their train tickets, and all of the information is accurate, prices, timetables, the services available. This is where you're going to go. Get a translator for your browser to translate it from Japanese to English, and this is what you will be used to get the best accurate information on the prices and the services. I've also been recommended Navitime. I've not used it myself yet. Maybe it's the saving grace. Maybe it's the ultimate website for train times and services and accurate routes and stuff, so do check out that. But of course, the jrpass isn't the only option for foreign travellers looking for discounted tickets. Do check out the JR website. There's a few different options there, whether you're based around Tokyo or Kansai, all over the place. In particular, there's one that I've used myself. It's actually valid for foreign residents as well. There's a Tohoku pass, which is 5 days, and that's 20,000 yen for 5 days unlimited travel between Tokyo and up to the top of Honshu. There's also Nagano Niigata pass, which is Tokyo around the west side of Tokyo for Nagano and Niigata. If you're just around there, 5 days, 18,000 yen. So definitely some different options. If you're just staying to those particular areas, may end up being quite a lot cheaper than the JR Pass. So there you have it, everything you need for deciding if the JR Pass is right for you. Do make sure you do all of the hard work ahead of time. Before your trip, arrange all your destinations and organise everything. You'll have far less to worry about once you're here. I've left all of the necessary links below in the description. Do check those out, including my referral link. If you yourself are looking to order a pass through an authorised dealer, then do check that out. If you have any further questions, or perhaps you've got your own recommendations and tips for using the JR Pass, do leave them in the comments below. I read everyone, and it's always fun hearing from you. If this video was useful, if you enjoyed it, please do give it a like. I really appreciate it, and it really does help the channel. And please do subscribe. You'll be notified about upcoming videos, and I'm sure you'll find something here that you enjoy, whether it's my travels across Japan, my life study in Tokyo, currently teaching English on the JET program here in Fukushima. Do subscribe and check out those videos. And if you're in a position to support the channel, please do check out those links below in the description. I really do appreciate your help and your interest in what I'm doing here. And you'll also see me over on twitch.tv/JasonIsLost, gaming, building Gundam. Do check me out over there and give me a follow. Really appreciate it. So I'm going to leave it there, but again, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope I'm able to help with your travels across Japan. I will see you in the next video. Bye.